So, following the results of the election, Twitter, or X as many know it now, because that's what it was changed to a couple years ago, but people still call it Twitter, so that's what I'll still call it. Um, it lost a lot of users. A lot of users deactivated, and they went to this new platform called BlueSky. BlueSky has been around for a few years, and it's kind of made itself an alternative to Twitter. Um, And there's a lot to consider regarding Blue Sky, and its rise and what it means for the future and how it's going to do. So first off, it's quite clear that there is a very rapid movement to Blue Sky as a platform recently, mainly because people don't want to be on Twitter following the election results. And it's actually now past Threads with daily users, which honestly seems impressive, and it is for any app, especially positioning itself as Twitter to Threads, which for a minute seemed like it would be a competitor to Twitter. But Threads died down and it's not really used anymore. So that was kind of like beating an old man to a degree, but it still has a clear user base. And what are my thoughts on it? Do I think Blue Sky is going to rival Twitter X? Well, I'm going to be honest, probably not. And in fact, I think that by the time, let's see, what month would I want to put on this? By the time March comes around, most people who went to Blue Sky will just come back to Twitter. It's really, look, at the end of the day, it's once something like that is created, you can't really replicate it. People have tried to compete with sites like YouTube, and nothing has even come close. The only thing that's really competed with YouTube is TikTok, but YouTube Shorts was created to rival that, and TikTok only competes with YouTube when it comes to short form content. People are still watching YouTube when they want to watch longer form videos. There's nothing that's going to replace YouTube, even though sites like Rumble have tried. It just isn't a thing because, look, at the end of the day, the first thing is always really the best thing. There's not really a viable replacement to a formula that already works. You can't really clone it and expect uh it to take off. I think that Blue Sky's surge is, if we're being honest, it's really in some ways bimodal, in the sense that it's clear that people who are going there are, of course, they're left leaning, or they're Democrats, or they just don't like Trump or Elon Musk, and they just want to get away from that. But look, if your sole purpose to join another platform like Twitter or X is to get away from the opposite side and to form your own version of a platform like that, well, here's the problem with that. Echo chambers have been tried in terms of cloning Twitter, and um it's just not successful because look, Trump, Donald Trump, who is, if anything, someone like him would have made the most successful competition with Twitter. He did Truth Social. He's the only one that posts there. He's the only one that posts there, and he came back to Twitter before the election because he knew, yeah, that nobody's looking at what I'm posting on Truth Social. I might as well just come back to Twitter. He still posts there from time to time, but let's be honest, he Twitter is always going to be his thing. He has 90 million followers and plus. There's there's no alternative to something that well established. It's just not a thing. There were other attempts like Parler, Gab, right wingers tried to do this, and it just didn't happen. People think Twitter has become more right leaning, and it definitely has shifted to the right in terms of user base and what gets spread out there. But honestly, it's pretty much a public square. Like, it's like a 50-50 split now. And look, at the end of the day, you're never going to be able to form an echo chamber because one way or another, you're gonna want to interact with people you disagree with. Not, and I'm not saying this because you have to. This isn't my opinion on whether or not you have to, but because you want to. If you don't like what someone is posting, you want to engage with them. If you're left leaning on Blue Sky and you find out someone right leaning posted something controversial on Twitter X, you're gonna be like, yeah, I want to engage with them. So you're gonna come back to Twitter. So it's just there's no getting out of it. There's no getting out of Twitter. There's no getting out of X. There's not really a viable way to take it down. Taking over Threads is definitely impressive, but if we're being honest, it's just not going to be successful because again, Twitter X, it's been around for over a decade. It's been established as what it is. You can't clone it, and no matter what, you can't get away from a political view you're trying to escape from. It's going to come at you no matter what you try to do to filter it out. I mean, if you're left leaning, guess what? On January 20th, you're going to have to deal with a president that you didn't want to win the election, and had Kamala Harris won, right leaning people wouldn't have just been able to tune it out because guess what? If you try to watch something like Fox News, guess what they're going to talk about? Kamala Harris. You want to watch MSNBC? They're going to talk about Donald Trump. So it's like it's stupid to try this. It's not going to work. And again, March, April, it'll be back to how it was before the election. People are just trying to get away for now. So yeah, that's my take on it.